guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adriana and today I want to talk a little bit about DNA. What is the shield and the sword of our consciousness and how we can use it. But before we begin, I want to talk about the importance of DNA, because learning about the DNA, it's about learning who we truly are and who we can be, about the potential that we have and all the different expressions that make us unique. It's not about the flesh and the bones and what is internally in the DNA. DNA is quantum and it's not just the physical, it's all the aspects of it. Everything as a body and as a reality and as a timeline and all the different expressions in between who you are, who you can be and what you're evolving to be, to use our bodies in such a way that is in alignment with our soul. The more I learn about myself, the easier it is to understand more about life, about how things work, and I'm more able to help other people through the experiences that I go through. I feel more alive. The more we experience, the easier it is for us to do the inner work, and we go through a lot of purging experiences personally and collectively to remember who we are, who we want to be in this life, and in what ways we can express this uniqueness based on our beliefs and on our choices and on our actions on a daily basis. And I feel that this is my responsibility and my mastery training on evolution, embody more of that higher aspect of myself and express it more into the physical and inspire people to make conscious choices to shift in a higher vibratory frequency. So far I have learned about the different aspects, the elements, the internal and the external within the bloodstream and the organs, and also externally as elements as the air, the sun, the fire, and all that. The respiratory system, lymphatic system, and all the systems within the body that are so unique and they work in such magical way that is fascinating. And the more I learn about it, the more interested I become into what we are and all the potential that we have. I'm a life coach and a fitness instructor, and while learning about fitness and how the body works, I have been receiving downloads about DNA, the physical aspect of it and the energetic, and this made me realize a lot of things. So what is the shield and the sword of the consciousness? In simple words, when we do specific actions on a daily basis, when we do them over and over again, it becomes a ritual, a routine, right? You've heard me talk about it before, and I brought this analogy of the inner tree and the outer tree, and the inner circle and the outer circle, or I even talked about the womb of creation, the womb of our own creation, and the womb that we represent as a planet and as a body. Every creation is a birth, and every version of ourselves is being birthed through this womb of creation. So this time I want to express this as a shield and a sword of the consciousness, because it's in relation to the inner tree and the outer tree, and with all that is. The shield and the sword is the application of habits that create a reality. They have the capability to raise one's frequency by altering the genetic makeup and the coding of the neural pathways in the brain, and they cause heart coherence. That is a quantum connection with the physical and the non-physical realms of consciousness. We become more aware of our morphogenic field, and it expands. So the more it expands, the more we feel. It becomes overwhelming at times because we are evolving into a version of self that is learning how to balance its aspects. One of the most important things that I've learned so far and I'm practicing daily is to strengthen my capacity to maintain inner tree chakra sovereignty and kundalini awareness. The first thing that I do when waking up in the morning is practicing techniques that can actually purify my aura from density or from possession or physical pain in the body, because I work out several times per week, and any pain or discomfort or stagnancy in the organs, the muscles, the lymphatic system, even the bone structure, by detoxing the spine and the meridians in general. It's important that I do this daily because I work with my higher aspects to align firstly within my physical body, and then I work on clearing and adjusting my territory energetically and around my morphogenic field, and transmuting things through my vessel for a higher number of people. So the more able I am to maintain a certain frequency, the more I'm able to assist. I also work with my bloodline, healing the ancestral lineage through my own DNA and through my own personal experiences. Sometimes astrological alignments make things seem harder when it comes to how much focus I can have, as I do feel the changes through my environment, and sometimes it makes me vulnerable when sudden elemental changes influence my emotions. So I'm working daily with my stream and spirit guides, practicing how to maintain my center no matter the intensity, by strengthening my ability to retract and expand my fields and spinning them by going light body. It's not just about the identity that we have or we create around ourselves, but it's about the true embodiment of the new version of humans that we're becoming. It's an organic human evolution. What we learn is good to share because some people may not perceive the changes that happen. So I feel it as my responsibility to share my journey in a unique way. So when you go light body, basically everything changes. You learn more about the energetic aspect of life and what you can do from within your soul. Your dormant DNA begins to activate when you go light body, and you start experiencing internal changes and then external changes, and you begin to feel energy and to see energy and to receive information through that energy, and you connect with the planet and with the sun and with everything around you, and you know that it's yourself, it's your higher aspect. It's a way to connect to your soul, to the DNA. I shared a lot of information in my DNA guide of how to activate dormant DNA. I shared a lot of techniques, and as I promised, the more I learn, the more I will share about this process, because it's not one thing and you start to activate your dormant DNA. It's daily. You need a lot of discipline and training and refocusing and realigning and a lot of grounding. So there are many techniques that you can apply to that, but I want to share my personal journey of what I do and how I do it. If I don't share my personal embodiment journey, it seems like a crazy thing. It's a physical, a mental, and a spiritual process at the same time, because when you work with the body, you work with the mind. When you work with the mind, you work with the body, and everything has to do with the soul and with the spirit and with the energy and the heart connection, all that connects you to who you truly are as a soul, as a being on this planet. As I shared earlier, what I do is I wake up, I do breathing techniques and stretching techniques and pressure point techniques to go deep into the center of self, and from there, it's like in the meditation, you remove layers of yourself to find the center. It's like an onion, like I shared in another video. When you find that center, when you remove all that density and ground, this is where magic happens. Most of us don't allow time to ourselves to connect back to that center. We forgot how to unplug, and we think we need something externally to do this, but we don't. We just need ourselves. We just need time and presence. I do this in the morning because I like to begin my day grounded with my own energy, because sometimes we feel the residue of the dream time or we wake up stressed. What we need is to master this feeling, the emotional responses of ourselves, by training the mind and the body to work together to bring back homeostasis to the body and the mind, to feel more in control within yourself. When the sun is out, I like to go inner child mode. So I work with the feminine aspect of myself, the healing aspect. During the day, when I work with the sun and I sun charge, I go light body. This is one way of working with our energy fields. The other way is when we work out, because we still do a lot of clearing and transmutation through our bodies with the internal energy that we feel and the external energy. It's not just digesting the food through our organs and everything. We have a chakra stream, and when the sun sets, I work more with my masculine energy. I work out, I lift weights, I transmute things from another aspect of self. I have both aspects of myself working through me to clear and balance my body, and then to clear and balance my environment. And how do I do that? I know that it sounds strange to some of you, but the more I learn and the more I'm able to know what I'm actually experiencing. I transmute things in my environment when I work out. I move lots of amounts of energy through my body, and we all do. It's not just me. I knew when I first started going to the gym that I was working with my fields and learning how to expand my fields and how to retract them in the gym so that I can assist other people, not just with exercises, but also with the energetic state, because when we work out, we work with our breathing a lot. It means that we work with the heart. We expand the heart center, and the heart center is connected to our fields, and the more we expand, the more we move energy around our fields. I know that I have people from many levels in consciousness watching my videos and interacting with me, so I'm trying to explain things as simple as I can. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you want me to explain things in a deeper way, I will do that in another video. Just comment below anything that you want to say. I'm here for you. So what I was saying is, we're strengthening our breathing, we're strengthening our heart connection, and the way we move energy with our fields. The stronger we become, the more energy we can hold within our bodies. We feel the anxiety and the stress and all that adding up, and they make us emotionally numb, or to experience depression or even diseases within the body if we're not self-aware of what is causing what we're feeling. Our bodies are constantly talking to us, and they're saying, give attention to this area, give attention to this area. So if we're not self-aware, if we don't take the time to tune into the self, to tune in to see how we're feeling, we don't know what is stored on our chakra points, what is blocking our expression, what is blocking our energy, what is actually going on with ourselves. I'm also reminding myself daily that it is safe for my heart to open up within and around my body. And it's okay to be centered and in resonance with my stream of consciousness, because we build many walls to protect our hearts from many energies and interactions on a daily basis, that we conditioned our body to be closed off, and we're distancing ourselves. It's like there is a split within our consciousness about our ability to feel. So this is what we're working with, this is what we're transmuting, becoming more self-aware of our feeling ability. And we're more conscious and not on autopilot. We become more present and more mindful, because everything happens in the present moment, not generally, as everything is in the now. And the more we slow down, the more we're able to feel. This is why specific rituals help us become more self-aware. That self-care helps us slow down, just like organization and many other techniques. In shower rituals, it's very important to remind our hearts and our bodies that it's safe to open up, so that we can function better in our day-to-day lives. We need to begin the day right and observe how we're feeling and how we're reacting to things. And if we cannot do this in the moment, to remember to process it later at night in our journaling time, break things down and analyze things. Gratitude also makes you slow down, and you feel more of that beautiful frequency, and you embody more of your inner child and your heart and your soul. When we're stretching, we're working with the meridians of the body. We learn how to balance both aspects of ourselves, left and right hemispheres of the brain, that I intuitively learned through my spirit guides, that help me tune into my center and perceive a different form of energy, of my connection with everything else. And the deeper I go, the more rooted I feel into myself. There is no density. I feel like I am everything. When I move energy at night, then I come back and I make a meal and I rest for the day. And then the next day, this is why I work with my feminine aspect, the healing aspect of myself. The spirit guides of the light side, they help me do this work from within my body, not only to clear my own emotions and stuff, but to clear the collective energy through my vessel, to do the transmutation and the alchemy part of this evolutionary state. If physically I don't feel 100%, then my focus is not 100%, and then my energy is not where it needs to be. Something needs to be adjusted from within, so that I can feel more over the center of myself and not the density. So waking up and clearing the density and the stagnance and the inflammation from within the body, detoxing and fasting and working with the sun, doing all the necessary steps to begin the day right and align the self in the right state, relates to the shield and the sword of the consciousness. So let me just share this download. So what I want to share about the sword and the shield of the consciousness is related to our feeling ability, both the internal feeling and the external feeling. So here we have the sword, which is connected with our stream of consciousness, from the upper levels to the lower levels. The important thing that I was shown here is the hearing ability, the smell, and our senses. So these are our chakras: root, sacral, solar, heart. Here we have our back. Our higher cells are connected to our back, left and right side. And then we have the throat. Then we have the nose. This is the nose here. If we don't have the sense of smell, we are in the state of numbness. Our consciousness is like numb. We are overstimulated. We're not sovereign enough. That is why it's important to ground, because with breathing, we are able to clear all of our chakras. But when it comes to the smell, we need an external thing, and it's connected to the elements. So then we have our eyes, our eye basically, and then the crown. And the throat is connected to the ears, the left and the right, because this is how we connect with the higher selves. This is how we listen to our higher selves, and when we have hearing. So then if we go up, we have the elementals and everything that we perceive in the external. This is our inner tree, the inner circle, and then the outer circle. This is basically our sword and the shield intact. So this is the tree, this is the sword that I showed you with more details here. We have the first floor, the second floor, and the roof. This is also representing my house, the inner house and the outer house, the outer circle. So from this circle and out, we have all the people, the other timelines that we have no control over, and this is our shield. So if our sword is intact, we are one with everything else, because if we have control over this, then all the other layers become just as in garment layers. This is the earth garment, is another layer of ourselves. And from inside this circle is our foundation, our awareness. This is where we are cultivating our mastery skills. This is the inner. When we master the inner, we master the outer, the external identity. So this is another representation of the inner tree, because inside the tree here we have the umbilical connection with the higher mind, the kundalini, and we have the chakras. We have the heart, the solar, and all the other lower chakras. And if we see this as the roofs, the second, the first, and the ground, we have the higher selves. We are decoding through the higher presence. This is the inner verse here, our inner standing, preparing our bodies and our consciousness through the internal connection to welcome the external changes and disclosure. We have the first floor here that we're transmuting the bloodline, the self, the house, the energies, and all that by taking action and planning a structure and doing things, by being disciplined and mastering our lower chakras and transmuting things here. And then we're using the solar plexus and the heart together through the umbilical cord, right? We are using the umbilical cord to clear all that, because it's connected to our bloodline and our self and the previous timelines that we're here to transmute. The upper chakras for our expression, to feel more safe within ourselves and to strengthen our trust and our foundation. And when we do this, when we transmute this and master this, we're able to decode messages from our higher selves, our spirit guides. And the importance of our physical senses, the smell, the touch, the taste, and the hearing, is connected to the elements. The external can influence the internal, and the internal can influence the external, because they're one. This is the left and the right side. This is from where we receive information from our higher selves, and this is basically from the higher elements, because elementals are forms of our higher selves, and we feel them through our senses. So we have to have them clear and detox so that we can feel and perceive more. And I learned this because I wasn't able to feel my body fully. My energy was feeding other agendas and people, and I wasn't able to shield myself. So this is what I was shown. When we do the same routines, it's like we are in the same temperature, and we get used to a specific temperature and frequency. This applies to the water temperature when we take a shower. This applies also to the products that we use, things that we taste, the way that we organize our space. If we exist in this environment without any changes, our body and our mind adapts in a lukewarm environment, and with the constant distractions and external stimulation, we become numb, not just mentally but physically too, and we're easily manipulated and controlled. The body needs to wake up through our senses to feel alive again, play with the temperatures to change things up. If we challenge ourselves and challenge our comfort zone, we change this. We feel alive again. If we're grounding barefoot in different temperatures, if we use essential oils for the smell, even if we do like massage therapy and acupuncture, this helps a lot with our activation. So the inner circle, it's about the body and the house, the self-care, because it helps the confidence and the mind and the emotions and the presence, the organization, the motivation, This is the body and the house. So then we have structured planning and action that helps with the outer circle and the inner expression. And then we work again with the inner child by journaling, music, expression, and creation. And then to remind ourselves, am I breathing? Am I on fire? Using the elements in the right way. This is the internal tree. So by balancing the internal tree, our chakra points, the meridians, the physical body, applying self-care, eating right, exercising, grounding, and sleeping right, this is our sword of power. And when we have an intact sword, sharpened and ready to fight whatever external comes to it, we have also our shield. These are our weapons. Because if this is a war on consciousness, we need to be ready for war. And we only fight by taking care of ourselves first. We go to war by being love, and to be able to maintain the frequency of love, we need a lot of training and practice, and this is our training and practice. We go to war with our sword as the tree, the inner tree, as the outer tree, and as the shield that we are. If we know that we have control of our house and our consciousness and our body, we are able to know how to shield our house and our space and our body and ourself and our consciousness. If you and your house are one, the inner circle is you and your house. So you know how far you expand in the house. You have a shield that shields you from the external environment. So this is the shield and the sword of our consciousness. If you're interested to know and to experience how it is to activate your Dharma DNA, you can book a session with me. If you want to know what your spirit guides want you to know, book a reading. I have the ability to feel things and to connect with your higher aspects through my higher aspects, and then I decode the messages through the cards. So if you're interested in that, check the links in my website. Please comment below and share this video so that more people will begin to do those things and practice those things and awaken more into their true potential. So thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.